Alright, everybody, welcome back. We're doing a didgeridoo session. If you just watched my previous video, it is often the stuff that I think about before and after while I play. I take really hard subjects and try and unravel them and understand them as I'm playing the didgeridoo. So that way, the unique thought process seeps into the little portion of, say, like, my vocal cords and just attempts at thinking like diversely to do something more unique that I haven't thought of before in the moment. So while some would say, oh, that doesn't go into playing didgeridoo, but I assure you that's also here on the didgeridoo documentary, the Docu Didgeridoo. Gotta do the Docu Didgeridoo. Loop-de-doo dayathon. Loop-de-doo dayathon. I like the sound of that, like a leviathan. But the accent is like thon, but leviathan. But it's the loop-de-doo dayathon. I really got into it. There's some content up of that. You didn't know. I actually didn't post up on YouTube. I have an issue when I'm live streaming on Libet and recording. So I have decided to go back to documenting like this. Actually, before I get started, let me say that I recorded about 30 or 40 hours and documented a lot of the didgeridoo. Actually, not quite that much. It was probably closer to 10 or 20, but it did require that much playing. I'm not exactly sure, but there was a lot of like 2-3 hour streams where an hour or 2 hours of it I was playing the didgeridoo and talking about it. As it takes a lot to get to the muscle memory to put that thought down, but since I don't have anywhere to ever write it down or make a solid note, it's like how you do this is written so weirdly. You can't look at, oh, I'm gonna play this note and it's like a whole like freaking paragraph of what to do. So working on building a didgeridoo language that's readable. That is something that has always interested me. I see why there isn't yet, because it is an extremely hard task, but I will accept it through the course of my life and hopefully be able to find something that stands out or a method of doing so. Alright, but anyways, we're going to get to the didgeridoo documentary session. We're going to keep on playing the didgeridoo and documenting whatever you like to do on the didgeridoo. I like to do just about everything. This is a PVC didgeridoo. This is not wood. I got it. This one's like 35 bucks. If you're somewhere in the States, it would cost like 50 bucks for shipping on it. So you'd be looking at like 85, but I've had this thing over 10 years. Actually, just about 14 years, I think. I think it is 14 because I'm just shy of the 15-year mark. The 15, you know, that number everybody uses to explain something. 15 or 5, you know, everybody has that number, but you know, common one is 15. I like it too. It's like a good, it's not too low. It's not like 5 minutes, like, you know, that's too short. But 15 is like closer to 30. Well, 5 minutes isn't close to 30, but 15 is. 15, somebody's gonna tell them 15 minutes and they're gonna accidentally wait 30 minutes anyways. Tell somebody 5 minutes, it's gonna be 30 minutes. They wait for like 10 minutes and be like, where is it? Something happened, I gotta go save the food so I can eat it. Anyway, see, this is what happens. This is the process of playing didgeridoo. If I'm documenting, I can talk about it, just kind of get some weird thought processes out, because to me, while I'm talking about food in 5 and 15 minutes, I'm actually thinking about stuff I thought about yesterday and other stuff that I thought about while thinking about that, if that makes sense. So basically, somewhere I thought something on the didgeridoo, was like, oh, I need to do something with that, and didn't have any way of putting it down. So, you know, I'm always surfing back. I don't think there was anything about there, but sometimes this does happen when I just go off on something. This is what I wanted to go off on, something made me think about it, whatever, and I'm going to try and climb back to it. It can go back, I've had to go back like years of thought processes, really. It's odd, especially when I'm like blazing through it, because sometimes I'll think of multiple things I can do when I hit a certain point. Like, you know, I could be like, oh, I think there's 3 or 4 different ways to mess with that, but I'm gonna have to it's gonna take about a day to get back to one of those, and I won't have as many shots, especially at the exact point in time too. It's very, very bizarre instrument. In later news, I bought a bag of tobacco, and I'm scared because I've been smoking it. I think my allergies are going crazy, and I found where I guess they had it stored properly or something, and there's like bits of mold, like little dry, like it'll be just like a little bit like that of tobacco with some mold growing on it, like dried out. I don't know if it's spored in through all this shit. It doesn't look like it did. I should just get rid of it, but you know, God, don't let it be a bag of tobacco that defeats me. You know, that'd be a true Stoney way of going out. Oh man, I'm gonna go out in one of these awesome ways, and it's like just accidentally. I don't think it's that big a deal. I mean, I don't think it was on my end, because these bags, there's always, I buy them and they're like, occasionally they're humid and it's like fresh and stuff. This one, if I don't press on the bag and see what this the specific brand, I'll show you. I think I can. Kentucky. It's Kentucky Select. I have the bag over there. They have a little hole in it and it dries out. And I notice it only sometimes. Like, I've only noticed it one time when I went to go and buy it. I always notice it when I get it home. So I don't know. I'm not going to get that brand again. It's only like 15 bucks. I might as well just spend the money, but it can be a really cheap bastard. It's amazing how much of my health I'm willing to put it all on the line for like dollars. You're really tampering with my brain universe, world, everything. That's what I'm telling my subconscious my life is valued at. That's not good. Even if it's a 1% chance of it being bad, but I don't think it's not that big a deal. But now I'm thinking about it, I probably should. I just went through and dug through most of it and found a little bit more of it in there. I almost feel like something is off with it. Anyways, we're gonna play didgeridoo. We're gonna do the exact opposite thing of smoking. One of the things is when I play the didgeridoo, I also like to smoke. I like bud, tobacco, like a vape pen, like oil or something of that nature, something I can just vape up a little bit. It helps me play, for one, and then smoking also has a certain attribute in general, rather than just like edible or something. It gives me a little bit more control and like sensation in my mouth, so I can get it down right. It kind of gets everything flowing well, but loose enough to where it's not like resisting, so like I adapt with playing it easier. There you go. That's an 8-minute ramble about everything that revolves around me playing a didgeridoo and stuff I have to worry about. Anyways, we're gonna not focus on that stuff. Please, if somebody sees this and I mysteriously like kick the bucket, try and put on my tombstone, taken out by a bag of tobacco. I'll accept that one, because it is so, I could never think of a way to go out now, and now that is it. Like it wasn't the aspect of smoking the tobacco regularly. It was the one bag that took me down. It attacked me. Should be fine. Let's go. We're gonna get it. This one I did it better earlier. This is about the 4th time I'm going back to it and doing a solid stream, as you hear me do. And that was a bad one, I would say. It didn't pick it up as much. It still sounded good. You guys probably couldn't hear it as well. It's very like binaural instrument, so playing it especially, but recording, it's different through a headset and after I record it, because you're catching sounds from this end and that end, wherever the mics is and are. It meshes a little bit too much, but it does something, like it kind of will force each one into one note rather than separately hearing it and feeling it as I do. When I'm playing it in person, you also feel and hear that more. One of the things is that I'm not too aware of. I'm still studying and I'm trying to gather the information. Is that the whole sum part of it, or like a large majority already? Because I just thought, okay, in my head I've already solved this. Now I forgot what the hell I was just talking about. We're gonna have to play. We're gonna have to reawaken it. As you can see, I can do a different note just as well, better than I normally do after playing certain notes beforehand. You'll notice this over time. I'm going to try and explain this and sum it up and kind of give you a visualization of what's going on when I create a freaking interdimensional portal by accident on the didgeridoo, here on this Docu Didgeridoo documentary. A didgeridoo. Wait, a didgeridoo-dat. Yeah, no, there's didgeridoo-at, there's didgeridoo, but didgeridooed, but then a didgeridoo-dat. Interesting. I'm actually a didgeridoo and a didgeridoo-dat. Physically didgeridooed, very emotional and understanding and quite feminine. Do that. So, and funny thing is, if I was born somewhere and they were like, you can't play that because you're a female, I thought we were past this, telling what people can't do based on their gender and anything about themselves. That's right. In some places, it's very confusing. I've only been told this, picked it up, and it's their culture. It's really frowned upon, and I think it's actually illegal because it's like their religious beliefs and stuff that females cannot play the didgeridoo. And me being with Bill Nye the Science Guy, I'm telling you, we need both. For one, and myself as a whole, I'm very well balanced with that. So you're saying that just because of this I can't do that? No. There's a song that I like to play, and it's called I Do What I Want to Do, I Do What I Like. That's me. I do what I want to do, and I do what I like. So, we have to solve this. This is the large portion. I've inspired. I actually felt kind of bad. I inspired somebody in that region and was like trying to be like, just play it, like tell them to do everything against their nature, I guess. But how can you do that to yourself? I believe that there is a piece of information. We need different minds of all different types to try and understand that this didgeridoo and its information, because I believe there is something extremely phenomenal in it that can be used for all sorts of stuff that we don't know yet. Like these aliens we know exist. I've seen their spaceships. Like, I wasn't tripping or anything in Area 52, and it was like how it's really explained. Like, unless it's some big freaking sci-fi, like actual conspiracy, like they make it happen and make everybody see it so they believe it and talk about it, but it's not even like that. So very hush hush. So I believe, and aliens are cool. I'm pretty sure I played a didgeridoo for the aliens and communicate with them with the didgeridoo. Pixel the puppet. Myself, I'm very much so Pixel, y'all. Y'all caught me. I am my puppet. You get to see another side of me that I can't necessarily let out. But if I'm in puppet form, it is accepted when I get in that that state. It's not as when I do different voices, you're gonna think I'm just a crazy person sometimes going off, but it's actually just a voice that I work on for characters, or because I actually am a crazy person that is 100 different cartoon characters. No. I would say it's more dissociative identity disorder. It's a lot of D's. And a lot of T's. I get T's and D's backwards. And even when you're singing a song, I told this to a musician at one point. She was in the process of making a song, and we came to a word that was with T's, and I was like, you know, how you say, I've heard this with a lot of songs and stuff, how you say the T, you know, you're singing, you say your words as you're singing it, right? Make it all into one thing to where it's understandable and everything, but to make it rhyme and keep the rhythm and the flow, you can do something that's a D. Because they're similar. There are other letters like that inside the English language. That's one thing I always found interesting. Something that is so basic, but has a very lot of control and potential through each and every individual language and music. So now we're saying that there could be 140 base diverse, because there's 170 countries or some crazy stuff like that. I don't know how many languages there are. However many that is, base and diversity, and then also it's slowly taking one of this one and mixing it with that one. It's not quite the same. Another form of diversification. So I'm very curious, and how do you even, this is what this documentary is about, you guys. It's about all the stuff that I can't find or comprehend or store in my brain. All the stuff I have stored in my brain, all the stuff I have comprehended, and all the stuff I'm able to pass down as a whole. In order to get to some of the stuff, you have to start way all the way back here. Just imagine, like, your phone spazzes out, right? And it's like, it scrolls you down 1,000 to something. You're like, I was right there. I was just about to press the button. And it just, like, freaks out and scrolls down like 1,000 tabs. And you're like, you're sitting there trying to double swipe back. You're trying to climb back to it. You're like, this is going to take a freaking hour. I don't want to back up. I got it. And then you get close to it and it spazzes out and throws you all the way back down. You just feel like you're playing an endless game of snakes and ladders, and you're just like, ah! That is how some people take in the didgeridoo. Others, as we have started to understand it more, we understand that the ladder doesn't need to be moving. It is the ladder. The whole sum of the ladder is at the same time. There is no one more step up higher on the didgeridoo level. There's no one step down higher on the didgeridoo level. Each step is always needed to be equaled back to your next step. So it's like you're stepping in place, stepping in place, stepping in place, stepping in place, stepping in place. So every time you get that motion, it transitions, right? So if I go up, if I motion like this, it's going to be easier than like resisting it once I really start to get that, you know, the momentum, the bob, the body weight, you know, the pressure comes into the area, what it, you know, the humidity levels affect that, the heat outside, how much wind there is, what storm systems are coming in, stuff like that. We're just trying to get to the sum of everything, guys. We're running out of time. This is the only thing I can think of, and I tried to do live streams, but I've decided I'm going to build it up here on YouTube first for a while, and then start putting it into advertising or something of that nature. So this is where I need to start with the Docu Didgeridoo documentary. Introducing a do that on a didgeridoo and a dude. I'm genderqueer, kind of felt non-binary, and then somebody said genderqueer to me at one point, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. What's crazy, if you're watching Bill Nye the Science Guy, I love Bill Nye the Science Guy, helps explain the universe to me, and I have for a very long time, and seeing him back doing Bill Nye Saves the World was pretty awesome. And this is a rough like generalization of, say, of how many different genders, and now it's coming out, it was at 16, and now we're starting to see that's closer to 24, so, you know, it could be maybe 32 or 64. And if this is happening, if it started out as Adam, Eve, male, female, right, and then it became like maybe a little bit of Adam mixed with Eve, became, you know, nine. This one, the offspring of Eve, the next Eve in the evolutionary pyramid is, say, 1%, because of everything that happened as they were a team and developed and passed down to their offspring. So they took in a portion of the masculine side, which is what you say, confidence, and what, like, domination is considered like male and masculine, right? And then, like, which isn't, to me, which isn't true, but that is how it's seen, which I could see that as how these were the rules that started. But we're not in society where to where a female can't do something extremely badass, and just, like, there are plenty of women that will beat the hell out of me. Like, I'm not even, and I feel bad, like, I don't want to, like, with a dude, and like, okay, like, I'll put in my effort and really try and hurt him if we're going at it. You know, they're especially trying to take me down, like, you know, unless I was told, I mean, even then, even if I was told, you know, you can fight this, which may, you know, whatever, you know, that's a gray area, we're not going to get into that, but, you know, but yeah, that's 1%, so, and to me, that goes really deep with playing the didgeridoo now. I constantly think, how can I go to this culture, like, I don't need to do anything crazy, I just need to be like, hey, like, can y'all just, like, get rid of this law where it says, like, females can't play the didgeridoo, please? And maybe give us a reason as to why. And then I'll propose that there's science in it, and I need different mindsets and everything. And you know what, somebody who I was able to understand off of, when I first started playing, I was about, I think I was 14 at the time. Right? Yeah, I was about 14 at the time. I just turned 14, I think. Or 13. And one of the people where I got it at a Renaissance festival, and there was a few different people showing and playing it in between, and somebody that taught me a lot about circular breathing and different types that really stuck with me and gave me, you know, because it was only for like a matter of 30 minutes. Maybe a little bit longer, because I did hang out there for a bit, but just some good courses, some insights, and she helped me out a lot. So how can you say, and I can't even deny that I'm not, you know, maybe it really is like their culture is everything in the universe, and I'm being disrespectful, or a woman is being disrespectful by doing it, but I don't see that. I don't believe it. I do see some stuff where it could be, you know, like I've gotten this joke a few times, like it looks like I got something in my mouth, you know, just playing with the tip a little or whatever, but which I don't mind, I like it. One time I was playing it, and this chick and her friends, you know, she was trying to make her friends laugh, you know, they're just, you know, having a good time. I didn't take offense. I was younger, and it made me feel a certain way, and I didn't say anything, I just kept playing, but I did feel like it affected how I played too, based on the thought. I was like, oh, now I'm considered this, I don't want people to think I'm gay or something like that, even though that was a very strong portion of my life then, already, so, yeah. This one, once I get the air pocket good, that little bit of like, it's like a kickback. What is this on my hand? Don't tell me what that is. It's like yellowing right there. But anyways, probably where I was messing with tobacco. Oh, you know what? I know what that is. Never mind. I think. But it's right, res. But anyways. Where's that other shit fucking with me? I just need to order another bag of tobacco and get rid of this one. I should just walk up there and be like, look, this is what the hell I have found in it. Just exchange it for me. I don't have a fucking receipt. Because some bullshit. Alright, so that one, the trick is to do like a handoff. When, okay, imagine something is coming down on a platform and it has a lot of weight, right? It's going to land and say the platform, it can only handle so much before it breaks, before it gets out. This is like your corridors, like, I guess like density, it's endurance of a sort. But say it's something heavy. What you do is say if something's going to drop, you can put something like foam so where it lands, it doesn't take all that heavy weight, and it kind of helps distribute it and doesn't do as much. But then there's also another way of doing something, and it's kind of more of something is fluttering down. You're trying to stop it from just hitting the ground, but holding it up. Maybe like a balloon or whatever that doesn't have helium in it, or a balloon with like a little something in it, like a bead. Where you're just batting around and it kind of goes like this and that. You will like hit it, and you want to land it, so so you just hit it a little bit softer, and then it comes back down. You hit it a little bit softer, so it's not going out of the way. You're not gonna smack it and it's gonna go far, and then you're gonna lose it, but you know exactly where it's gonna go. So when it goes up, you know it's gonna be coming back down. So it's just settling. You get the note to where a point it's just gonna settle on its own. So that is a method of circular breathing. It does that for you, right? So, and then if you hit it right, it's like you don't have to wait for this thing of air to settle even slower. It kind of will be weighted on its own and come back to you, if that makes sense. We're going to end this portion of the Docu Didge, this very limited didgeridoo playing, more documenting. I need to keep these videos under 30 minutes though, so that's how we're getting it. Here we go, next one. Y'all roll on to the next didgeridoo, Docu Didgeridoo, documentary, Docu Didgeridoo, dayathon. But it's the Docu Didgeridoo. That was hard, my voice. Here we go.